Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Today I'm speaking with a workamper who makes a living through traditional work camping jobs as well as by installing RV roof protection products. She also offers a warning about the difference between W-2 income and 1099 independent contractors. This episode is sponsored by Workamper News. If you have more questions than answers when it comes to the work camping and RVing lifestyle, then Workamper News can help. Listen to their free work camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered. Each video answers questions submitted by folks just like you who are learning about the RV lifestyle, just getting started, or have been work camping for a while. The videos cover topics like what kind of work camping jobs are out there, what do those jobs pay, tips for writing your work camper resume, questions to ask an employer, what type of RV is best, how to get your mail as an RVer, and much more. Listen to detailed answers now by watching the videos at workamper.com/answers. In the description of each video, you'll find a list of questions that were answered so you can quickly jump to the answers you want to hear. Check out the free Work Camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered today. Jessica Peacock is a full-time RVer who has spent the past 3 years traveling across 21 states while combining work camping with independent contract work in the RV industry. Jessica shares how she and her fiancé found a unique way to stay on the road by installing lifetime RV roof protection systems. It's a job that allows him to travel from location to location while earning income. She also opens up about an issue many work campers face but don't always fully understand until it's too late. And that's the difference between 1099 contractor work and W-2 employment. Jessica explains how those differences can impact taxes, scheduling, overtime, and overall job expectation. She discusses why it's so important to ask the right questions before accepting any position. If you are considering work camping or looking for creative ways to earn money while traveling, this conversation offers some valuable real-world insight. To tell us more about her work camping experiences, please welcome Jessica Peacock to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Jessica. I really appreciate it. How long have you been RVing?
We've been full-time for 3 years now.
3 years. What prompted you to jump into that lifestyle?
If you've ever seen the movie The Money Pit with Tom Hanks, that is the house that I bought in Old Colorado Springs. Everything, including the chimney, fell apart in the time that I owned it. So I just said, the heck with it. I'm ready to travel, and I'd rather spend my money elsewhere.
Exactly, on experiences and different cultures and seeing new things.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do you like most about the experience so far?
Traveling. Absolutely. All the neat spaces, all the new cool places that we end up going to because of work camping can put you in some incredible little towns, and you can go through little towns on the way. So really, it's just what's around you. It's just incredible.
I think you're absolutely correct about that. How many states have you been through in 3 years?
In 3 years, we have gone through 21 states now.
Oh my goodness, you are booking.
Yes.
Have you been work camping the whole time?
No. We work camped for 3 seasons so far.
3 seasons. And right now, I guess you are working as an independent contractor to help people install roofs, RV roofs. Is that right? Okay.
Yes. RV Armor, they install lifetime roofs.
How'd you find that job?
I did some research because obviously you need to work while you're on the road. You don't want to drain all your savings. So I did some research on careers that could put us in that type of industry where we get to travel, and RV Armor it was. And they're fantastic.
And what kinds of things do you do for them? Are you booking appointments or are you actually installing the roofs?
We are installing the roofs. We are both certified, me and my fiance.
Oh, that's neat. You have more guts than I do to crawl up on a roof.
Some of them are a little intimidating, but once you're up there and you get going, it's about a week-long process. So we get to stay wherever because we go to the client, which is really neat because then it makes us travel, like I said, to all of those weird little special places. And it's just really neat.
But they're not doing things like saying you're going to have to install a roof in Colorado one day and then go down to New Mexico the next day and then over to Texas the next day.
Yeah, we're 1099. We basically tell them what our routes are and where we're wanting to go. And then that's the route we follow. This year, because gas is on the high end and they haven't really increased that little bit for us as contractors to travel to those locations, we decided to do another work camping stint in Nevada on Lake Tahoe. So we're very excited for that. We have not been to Lake Tahoe yet.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. Now, what kind of jobs have you worked at as a work camper?
We've done everything. We've done grounds, maintenance. I ended up cooking, which I never thought that I would do, is be in charge of a cooking area and push out 400 meals in a couple of hours. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Serving, bartending, pretty much anything that the employer really needs.
Okay. And you've worked with a variety of employers over the years?
Yes.
Okay. Super. I understand that you got caught in a problem that is common among work campers, and that is you were in a 1099 job and didn't realize that taxes didn't come out of that.
Correct. Not only taxes, it's just when you're in a 1099 position versus a W-2, there's a lot of things that are different. And when you're in a state like Colorado, their employment laws are much different from other states. They're actually way stricter on the employer. So basically a W-2 is they can give you a schedule and say, okay, this is your schedule. This is what I need you to work. A 1099 is, hey, I need you to do a task between the hours of 9 and 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And then you have that control over your own schedule. It also makes it to where you have to take out taxes when, that helps the employer, because if he had you as a W-2, especially in the state of Colorado, then he doesn't have to pay the state taxes on his business the way that he should. It's a very important thing because it absolutely affects overtime and things like that. So you're working massive overtime and not receiving any type of benefit out of it.
I can imagine. I had heard of a number of people getting caught up in that. In fact, I did it to my daughter years ago when I was the editor of RV Daily Report. I had only hired 1099 contractors to produce content, and my daughter was a machine in her ability to pump things out. And then around tax time, she realized or forgot that she was a 1099 employee and wound up owing hundreds of dollars in taxes, maybe even 1,000 that she wasn't expecting. Is that kind of the situation you get caught in?
Not so much with this place that did this to us, because I caught on really quickly to what they were doing. I'm very familiar with the law. I have a paralegal degree. And I just wish I was so excited for the location that I didn't think about that whenever I was interviewing for the position. And I really wish I had, because it ruined the entire time that we were there, which was only a month and a half, until we just said I had enough. We packed up and left.
Okay. Were you caught off guard having to pay the quarterly taxes and things like that? Or what really turned sour on that position for you?
Yes, definitely the taxes, because we're also state taxed as well. So we're a double whammy here in Colorado. So yes, on that. But it was really what really did the final straw for me is the way that the owner was splitting tips. So July 4th weekend, we were swamped, and I mean swamped. And in the short time that my shift was, which was about 5 hours, I had made $400 in tips. And they have a tip sharing pool, which I do agree with. However, they were splitting tips with management, owners, and their children. Why? Yes, which is highly illegal to split tips with managers in the state of Colorado.
I can imagine. Yes, that should.
I ended up with $65 out of that.
Oh my goodness.
And that's whenever I just said, I'm done, because all of the hard work, work campers typically we will put more into the community that we're accepted into, because we love the experience that we're getting. We're so grateful to be able to travel and work at these really neat resorts and locations. So we always want to put in a little extra and be flexible. But when you have employers like this particular one, it was just a nightmare. It was absolutely, everything was a bait and switch. From the time we pulled up to the full hookups, which were not full hookups, we had to dump our own sewage, to just everything. It was just a complete bait and switch.
That's unfortunate. We don't like to hear stories like that. But I'm sure that probably happens. Is there some way that work campers can prevent that from happening? Are there questions that they could ask beforehand?
Absolutely. And that is how you prevent this from happening to you is ask questions, important questions. If you're afraid it's going to put the employer off that you're asking these questions, then you don't want to go there to begin with.
That's
So
probably
be specific. Make them tell you, yes, it's full hookups. What does that mean? Make them explain to you what their full hookups are so that way you're not caught off guard. Make sure that you're asking them, do I get 2 days off a week? I got no days off, including the one day I did technically have off. I was on call and had to run to the store to go grab groceries for the restaurant because they had run out of certain things. And I didn't even get compensated for that day. And that's why I said it's just being very cautious and careful about.
Did you have a
asking the right
written
question.
agreement?
Yes and no. So you typically get an offer letter. Most employers will give you an offer letter, and it does tell you, as well as the ad. And I always keep a paper trail on everything. So that was very beneficial to me whenever we sued this particular person. And so it showed that basically they bait and switched us, and their intentions were to do. And I hope that other people that this happens to, that they do take a look at the legal consequences that employer could face for their choices of trying to rip off slave labor, if you will.
I think it's also always a good idea to engage the employer in conversation and to ask a lot of questions before you accept the job, because that's when you're making the decision. It's just when you want to find out when they say that you have 2 days off, are they consecutive days off, or are they whenever they want? What are the hours that you're going to work? The full hookup RV site is a big issue for a lot of people. So yeah, I think the Workamper organization has some of those questions available on their website that people can refer to familiarize themselves with some of the problems that might occur up there. But this was just one employer, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And we've done 3, and then we're going to our 4th this season. I'm so excited. And I know that's going to be wonderful. It's Aramark is a huge company, and they have a ton of resorts that they look for work campers for. So if these last minute campers are looking for those positions, absolutely check out their website because they're nationwide as well as overseas.
They're involved in a number of national parks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And so is Explore US. It's just when you go to national parks, if you're not completely contained or you can basically off grid, it's probably not going to be the most enjoyable experience for you.
Why is that? I thought they had full hook.
No, actually, the state parks I know here in Colorado, that was our very first stint that we did, which we stayed the whole season, but it was in 11 Mile Canyon. And it was absolutely gorgeous, but we were in a canyon, so our solar only caught so much power. And then we were having to run our generator, which is obviously very noisy and not fun for other campers around us. But that was our choice to get the refrigerator to cool off and things like that. They just don't have full hookups, and they give you bladders of water, which is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's literally a bladder and they fill it with water. It was a great experience, but not one. I'm pretty bougie, so I prefer utilities.
Was that a state park or a national park?
That was a state park.
State park. Okay, very good. And what are some of the typical perks that you really enjoy as a work camper?
Meeting everybody is so fun. It's so fun to meet all of these people that come from all over the world to these beautiful resorts. We're actually in a resort right now. We're not the work campers for them, but we are in a resort, and just hearing where everybody's from, and it's just so much fun, and you get to hang out with them. I love taking care of the property and making their experience even better. So that is absolutely the best, is the people.
You said you're going to accept a new position this summer. Is that the one coming up in Nevada?
Yes,
Okay.
in Lake Tahoe.
What will you be doing for them?
I will be their lead camp host. So checking in, checking out, just handling the office, things like that, making sure the sites are clean and making sure that the staff are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay. And have you started applying for jobs in the fall?
I have. I actually applied for an Arizona position. We loved Arizona when we went there. We were in Sedona for a little hot minute. And so we stayed this year in Breckenridge. And even though I'm sad that the season didn't produce snow, I'm the double-edged sword. I'm happy because I was afraid of the cold. We kind of lucked out, even though we need the moisture here. But Arizona is somewhere I really would love to spend the winter months.
I'm in
I was hoping
Arizona.
that we get it like
Yes.
that. Are you really?
I am. I'm in Phoenix area. So Sedona is where we go to
Very nice.
play in the summer, trying to
Yeah,
escape some
very-
of the heat down here in the valley. And Sedona with the red rocks is just gorgeous. And that drive from Sedona to Flagstaff along Highway 89A is one of the prettiest in the country, I think.
I agree with that 100%.
So I hope you get that job. Yeah. How often or how long in advance do you typically start applying for jobs?
I would say a season ahead. So we weren't quite sure if we were going to RV Armor this year or if we were going to do a camp hosting position this year. What kind of made the decision is really the location. I was dying to get either to Oregon, Northern California, or Lake Tahoe. And so when the position came open and she told me, like, I really love your resume. Would you be willing to do this? I was just stoked. So it made the decision for us this season on what we were going to do.
You said
And I could just roll with that.
You said you've been to a lot of states. What were your favorites?
Absolute favorite, Northern California it's called Big Sur
Okay.
area is my absolute hands down favorite. I can't wait to get back that way. My fiance has never seen it over on that side. We split for work because we're both certified. So I did some jobs there and then he did some jobs in another state. But Northern California, driving through a little bit of Oregon. I love Fort Lauderdale area. Fort Walton Beach was just absolutely stunning. I think that's one of the prettiest beaches in Florida by far that people don't really know about. We love Floribama. If you've ever heard of that.
I have not.
That was an interesting. Yeah, it's literally a little tiny sliver between Florida, the Panhandle, Florida, and the upper part of the lower part of Alabama, and they called the area Floribama. And it's very small, but it's very unique and very neat. And the people are just a hoot. They are so much fun.
That sounds like a neat experience.
Yeah. And then Kanab was amazing. That's in Utah. We did a lot in Utah. And Utah is a state that you want to spend some time in because there's a lot to do in that state.
Oh my gosh, there are how many national parks in that area? The Magnificent Five is what they're called, I believe.
I would believe it because we got to go through and explore quite a bit of it. And I still didn't feel like we got enough time to spend in that state. So maybe next season, maybe next summer, but I don't know if I could do a summer there again.
Sure.
It was pretty warm.
Outside of the W-2 1099 fiasco, have you faced any other challenges during your experience?
That was the only company that I felt that we were very abused by. So we did a horse ranch in Colorado, and that one was just so amazing. And even though I felt like I did more work, the owners were so sweet, and they ended up giving us quite a large bonus when we left because we just did so much extra work for them. We were just so happy to be there and enjoy the horses and just the whole experience. So really, that's really it, is just knowing the laws of your state and making sure that you're not being taken advantage of with your time. Because what we all chase is our time. We chase 70s and we chase time. That's why we compromised a home for an RV.
What kind of RV did you select?
So we started out in a Class A motorhome, and I was terrified to ride inside of it because all of your belongings in your life are shaking around all around you as you're driving. And I was just terrified that somebody was going to hit us and it was just going to explode and everything, all of my personal possessions would be all over the freeway. So we did that for the first year. We still have the motorhome. And then we ended up switching to a fifth wheel. We got a pretty big one. We have a 45-footer.
Wow.
It has a spare room. So yeah, we got a big one. And so that way my son, it has a little bunk room. My son is in the Navy. So whenever he gets time off, he comes and finds where we're at. And then he comes and visits. So he has a little room to himself. But we love it. And I would highly recommend anybody who's looking to do this lifestyle, really weigh your pros and cons with a motorhome versus a fifth wheel, because when your motorhome breaks down, your whole house is gone with it.
That's right.
So we experienced that as well. And we were lucky that the first place that we work camped with, that they had a spare cabin. So we were able to stay and still continue to work. But it really was terrible. So we decided to get a fifth wheel.
Do you drive the fifth wheel yourself? Or drive the tow it yourself?
If we're going straight. Yeah, if we're going straight. I don't pull into gas stations. My fiance he's a heavy equipment operator. So he can whip this thing around in places that I can't even. I even tell people, because RVers, we love to help everybody out when we're backing in because we feel bad, even though we're all mad that everybody's watching, but at the same time, we all do it. He'll have people come out and try to help him, and they're really just in the way because he's so perfect with that thing. It's unbelievable. And it was just really neat. Great lifestyle.
That's cool.
But not easy and not cheaper.
That's true. I've heard that it's a problem if you have debt that you're bringing in to buy the RV. Would you agree with that?
We just paid ours off. So we did originally finance it, but we knew that we were going to be coming into a little bit of a settlement. And so we were able to pay off our fifth wheel. So pretty much all of our debt's paid other than our regular bills that you have to have. And we don't have credit cards or anything like that. We try to really this is our version of living free, if you will, off the system. And if we don't have enough in cash to buy it, then we try not to buy it. So
what are some of the places?
If you're coming in.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say a lot of people are getting caught up in the Brinkleys. And don't get me wrong, Brinkleys are beautiful RVs. They are made better. But when you're buying a $200,000 RV and you're trying to hit the road and then your truck breaks down and now you have to either rent a truck or buy another truck, but you're setting yourself up for failure.
That's a good point.
Instead of helping.
And you haven't had to deal with any of that yourself?
Not with the fifth wheel. We did have our truck break down one time and we spent the night on the side of Wilkerson Path in Colorado, literally on the side of the freeway. And it was so funny because we had a generator, so we were able to run everything. But because of the group that you found me in, I knew not to separate our truck from our fifth wheel. That fifth wheels get stolen very often.
Ooh.
And so I knew not to separate the two. And so when the tow truck came, they wanted to just take the truck. And I said, we can't do that. You've got to take them both at the same time or take the fifth wheel first and we'll wait. And so basically we had to wait for the next tow truck to come that could pull our fifth wheel. And that wasn't until the morning. So we stayed on the side of the road. But after the tow truck came, somebody had actually tagged our camper with a air tag while we were on the side of the road sleeping.
Really?
And we found it. Yes. And it's a very common thing because we reported it to the cops and everything and made a police report on it. But your phone, if you have a certain app, can pick up if there's a tracker anywhere around your vehicles. And so it just happened to, while we were sleeping the next day, because we had finally got it to the spot that we were supposed to, it started setting off my fiance's phone. And then he ended up finding it with red tape stuffed underneath in between our membrane of the fifth wheel and the fiberglass.
Oh,
so
my
they
goodness.
were able to just wedge it way in there. Yes. And we called the dealer that we bought it from and they were like, no, we don't do anything like that. So we knew that it happened that night. And it tells you on the phone when it's activated, when it was activated, and they activated it 30 minutes after we had pulled over on the side of the road.
Really?
So at the time that we just went into town to grab something to eat with the Toad, because I had my little Jeep. As soon as we went to go get something to eat and came back, they had tagged it. Very important to not separate your fifth wheel from your vehicle.
That is,
if you're not ready to tow them both.
Yes, that is outstanding advice. I don't think I've had anybody suggest that in the past. That's weird that you found an AirTag on your RV, and we'll have to find out what that app is so that we can alert other people to use it to prevent that kind of thing from happening. Because I could see where that would very easily happen.
Oh, yeah. And it does. And it's very well known that fifth wheels get stolen. Like I said, that group has been so helpful. I'm so thankful for everybody in it, because anytime that we've had an issue, we can put it in the group and boom, we get our questions answered.
If you had to start over, is there anything you'd do differently?
I would have started with the fifth wheel.
Okay.
Other than that, and just ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be excited for the location and not want to lose out. But I would rather lose out than end up with a bad employer. So asking questions, number one.
Very good point. Is there any advice that you would give to people who are considering becoming work campers?
Make sure if you are towing that you know what you're doing. A lot of the tractor places like Tractor Supply, even Camping World, have classes that you can take that will help you learn about your RV. You need to be handy in this industry, because if you're not handy, you better be rich, because when things break, to have somebody come out and fix it is extremely expensive.
Are you able to do that yourself?
Yes, me and my fiance are both very handy. We both owned construction companies in the past.
Okay.
So we both came pretty handy. We did have to figure out quite a bit on our own with RVs because it's low voltage and just different things and how they're made. But we've been able to, thank goodness, fix almost everything that has gone wrong. And just be ready for that. Be ready for things to break because your house is going through a hurricane every time you move it.
That's right.
So,
Hurricane and earthquake.
yes. And if you're in a motorhome, you probably know that already.
Exactly. So how can people connect with you if they would like to ask you a question or follow your journey?
So you're more than welcome to add me on Facebook. We don't advertise ourselves or anything like that on our journey. We feel like there's a lot of them that we follow. So we don't want to be one of ones that we follow per se and just repeat everything. But if they want to, they can send me a Facebook message, Jessica Lynn Peacock. I'm easy to find. And I'm more than happy to help anybody that wants to get out of the 9-to-5 lifestyle that drains our soul, in my opinion. And get on the road and see the world. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing your story for me. It's even the hard part. It's unfortunate that happened to you, but I'm glad you're talking to people about it to help other RVers and work campers avoid similar situations.
Absolutely.
Jessica Peacock's story is a great reminder that the work camping lifestyle offers incredible freedom, but it also requires awareness and preparation. From her experience installing RV roof systems as a 1099 contractor, she's created a way to earn income while traveling to places most people never see. At the same time, her challenges with 1099 versus W-2 employment highlight how important it is to understand how you are classified, how taxes are handled, and what it means for your income and workload. She also reinforced the importance of asking detailed questions before accepting any work camper position so there are no surprises when you arrive. Beyond the work itself, Jessica clearly values the people she meets, the places she explores, and the sense of freedom that comes from living on the road. She has experienced great employers and difficult situations, and those lessons have helped her to build a better path forward. If you'd like to connect with Jessica or ask her questions about her journey, you can find her on Facebook under Jessica Lynn Peacock. She's happy to help others who are looking to leave the traditional 9-to-5 lifestyle and explore the country through work camping. Today's episode has been sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then membership is for you. Join today at www.workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all for this week's show. Next time I'll be speaking with a wine expert from Nova Scotia who wants to help work campers to enjoy more flavorful experiences by visiting local wineries. We'll have that interview in the next episode of The Work Camper Show. Thank you for listening.